Novak Djokovic should be deported from Australia if it's determined he's been untruthful about his COVID-19 vaccine exemption, the country's deputy prime minister vowed Thursday. Djokovic thought he'd be participating in the Australian Open after being granted a medical exemption to participate, but it apparently wasn't enough to get into the country. He was detained after arriving in Melbourne on Wednesday night, and his visa was eventually cancelled after the Australian Border Force (ABF) said he failed to provide appropriate evidence to meet the entry requirements to Australia. Click here for more sports coverage on foxnews.com. Since then, Djokovic has been held at a Melbourne hotel, where government officials also house refugees and asylum seekers. Barnaby Joyce, Australia's Deputy Prime Minister, made clear of the consequences if Djokovic wasn't being truthful in an interview with BBC. If he hasn't filled out the forms appropriately, then he's taking the sovereign capacity of another nation for a joke. 100% someone's made a mistake, and if he hasn't told the truth, then the person who's made the mistake is Mr. Djokovic, Joyce said. Novak Djokovic applied for a medical exemption on the basis of recently contracting COVID-19, report. You can't just wander around the world thinking that, because you're really rich, you're really above the laws of other nations. According to The Age, Djokovic's reason for the exemption was that he had contracted COVID-19 in the past 6 months, but this reason was rejected by the ABF. Sources told the outlet that his evidence to support the medical exemption was considered minimal and supported by just one doctor. The medical exemption was reportedly granted in November. Djokovic and his wife announced in June that they had both tested positive for COVID-19. While he has declined to publicly comment on what his vaccination status is, he previously said in April that he is opposed to the vaccination against COVID-19 in order to travel. Click here to get the Fox News app. Djokovic's case was adjourned until Monday. He was allowed to stay in the country at the hotel until then. Fox News' Paulina Detta contributed to this report.